Hey guys, what goes on? Greetings from Minnesota. My name is JPGRRocks, your friendly, non-certified, self-appointed, unofficial Hermitcraft historian. I'd like to take this time to apologize to you guys for the lack of updates to my Hermitcraft history series. A combination of personal life events and a lack of proper recording equipment didn't allow me to create videos in the quality that I would have liked. But with both of those barriers out of the way, I can get back into it full swing. Now, let's start off with the ground rules for this series for those not familiar with them. I will be covering each member individually in a specific order with some exceptions which I'll go over when they come up. I'll only be covering events on the vanilla server, so specific Hermitcraft events like Ultra Hardcore and Hardcore Hermits, as well as the modded series like Hermit Skies and Foolcraft, will only be mentioned in regards to specific members. Additionally, this video will be accurate to when it's published. For everything before, I'd recommend checking out my previous videos, the playlist of which will be linked in the description. I'd also recommend checking out the description because that is where I'll be posting all the errors I've discovered in this video, if and when they pop up. Now, we're going to start things off by correcting the roster chart, which I had last updated in the previous video, and it looks a little something like this. As you can see, it isn't exactly up to date. There are many things which need to be added and changed, and we're going to start with the new and returning members. On February 25th, 2016, the Hermitcraft vanilla server officially reset into what we now know as Season 4. There were plans for a spawn town in a faraway mesa biome, with a map drawn by Tango showing its plateaus separated into various districts. There were 5 new members at the start of this season, all of whom were part of the now-defunct SMP series Kingdom Craft. I will be going through all of them in alphabetical order. The first person to go over is Cub Fan 135, often simplified to Cub Fan or Cub. He's known for his upbeat and often nerdy personality, as well as his regular community engagement. In his debut season, he built a village base called the Redlands near the spawn town, which later included a dam with some help from Good Times with Scar. In terms of shops, he actually had quite a few. A horse shop, a creeperhead farm, a head shop, an elytra shop, a banner shop, an adventure shop, a netherwart farm, a log and wood shop, a tipped arrow shop with Ren Dog, a bank, and a wool shop with Zombie Cleo. In terms of minigames, his primary contribution was an elytra course with some help from Iskall 85. He somehow managed to capture an end crystal and transport it all the way to the overworld, decorating its beam with a lava tube. He constructed his spawn house much later than most, but made up for it by building a mansion. He made a ring in the end for easier access to the end gates, and later constructed an obsidian volcano by the Redlands, which actually worked, and a red sandstone temple to confuse the other hermits. In the current season, he built a lush village with a massive chasm in the middle, later adding giant mushrooms and dark oak trees on a mushroom island. Nearby his base, he built a self-resetting iron farm as well as a witch farm. He was an early supporter of the new Hermit Order, and also managed to snag himself a rather impressive head collection. He recreated an ocean monument on the water's surface, which he later tore down in an excellent lesson on redundancy. His personal nether hub had a distinct space theme, including Soviet space dogs, which later died in an unfortunate lava incident. But hey, at least they got a memorial. He built a giant map hall with everyone's bases, as well as a rocket, a radar station, and a meteor on his base. He formed the Convex with Scar, and made a faraway squid farm, a nether gold farm, and a charged creeper farm. In terms of shops, he built a colorful building service, the Convex shop with Scar, and Llama Land. It's like land, but with llamas. He also constructed a ski slope minigame in the gaming district. He also made a functioning piano, an AI system in Jarvis, a massive 5-chunk slime farm which doubled as a gladiator arena, and a map showing off his channel logo, which later got pranked by Mumbo. Next, we have Good Time with Scar, otherwise known as Good Times with Scar, or simply Scar, who's known for his affinity of large-scale builds and cats. Lots and lots of cats. In Season 4, he built a frontier outpost in a spawn town with tents, a wagon, a mine shaft, a train station, a water mill, and a trading center. He also built the town's courthouse, and had a brief stint as its judge, powdered wig and all. He built a few shops, including a leaf shop, a tool shop, and a terraforming shop. In Season 5, he initially settled in a hobbit hole, much more concerned with digging out and building the season's underground community area, destroyed above-ground city, and nearby Crystal Cave. He would soon join the NHO, which served him well and not so well at times. He built a flat futuristic city base called Scar City, and was a forming member of the Convex group with Cub Fan, later building a shop for it, as well as a landscaping shop. The next person to mention is Iskall85, otherwise known as Iskall, who's a Swedish YouTuber, despite what a certain dance craze might tell you, known for his hatred of a particular stone variant. In Season 4, his Spawn Town house took the appearance of a mining outpost, and he later built a saloon in the area. In terms of minigames, he built Wanted, an electric horse with Cub Fan, a minecart shooter with Ren the Dog, and a PvP pit. In terms of shops, he constructed a prismarine shop, a pork shop, and a bookshop. He created the fictional material of Escalium and attempted to make a Dota-inspired PvP game, which was never completed, partially due to a haphazard lightning strike. He found a multi-spawner, later adapting it into what he called his manhole, and built a custom graveyard for Halloween. In Season 5, he split a mushroom island with Ren the Dog for his base, covering it in green plastic and custom biomes. He formed the revolutionary movement against NHO with Ren the Dog, and was tasked with building the Nether Hub, which looked like he took some inspiration from a certain someone's base, but more on that later. He restarted the Mobile Lisa PvP minigame, but it hasn't been completed yet, and built a nether gold farm. He also created an assassination shop. In terms of minigames, his primary contribution was the return of Hermit Graves, this time with Mumbo's help. He also built an underground mob head showcase. The person after him is Ren the Dog, also known as Ren the Dog or Ren, who's known for his bumblings, mishaps, and general derpiness. In Season 4, he built a decrepit outpost in the spawn town with a surrounding custom biome. He started the Logfellas to control the wood supply, and was later tried, jailed, and escaped, reforming the group into the Log Masons. He was generally considered to be a bad pet owner, and not without reason, losing pet rocks Moses I and II, as well as Speedy, the slowest horse ever. He built a log shop, a garden supply shop, a glass shop, a magma shop, a tipped arrow shop with Cub Fan. In terms of mini-games, he built a minecart shooter with Iskall, and a collection game called Hermitron, which also had its own shop, as well as its own theme song. In Season 5, he split a mushroom island with Iskall for his base, which later took on a computer feel, covered in orange plastic and his own custom material called uranium. He formed the revolutionary movement against the NHO with Iskall, and later established a mining outpost. He also continued his streak of losing pets, with Moses III dying. Later on in the season, he took it upon himself to gather a double chest's worth of every single item in the game. The final person to join during this time was Wells Knight, or simply Wells, who's known for his build style and level-headed nature. In Season 4, he built a fancy early game house in the Spawn Village, which he later upgraded. In terms of shops, he built a silk touch shop, a cactus farm, a lawyer agency, a junk exchange, a building shop, a bone shop, and later constructed the town's hall. He built an underground dwarven base which was rather expansive and beautiful, and built a deadly challenge for Ren Dog to retrieve his axe. He also constructed a hobbit town between his base and the spawn town, which included a monastery. He constructed a haunted house for Halloween, as well as an woodland elven town. In Season 5, he built a massive castle base with more stone brick than even Mumbo would find tolerable. He also was an early critic of the NHO, later joining the OHO. Near his base, he built a cathedral, which was later pranked by the convex, and built a build service shop, as well as a boat racing track in the gaming district. He also constructed the End Nether Tunnel and its supplementary portal room. Only one person joined in the middle of Season 4, that being Wait a minute. I think I have the wrong picture here. There we go. That's better. Anyway, as I was saying, Vintage Beef posted his first Hermitcraft video on September 3rd, 2016, after being a long-time Minecraft YouTuber, as well as a member of Mindcrack. In Season 4, he built a space outpost near the spawn town with various research stations, as well as a diorite shop and a faraway island outpost. In Season 5, he joined the NHO, establishing their group jungle base and constructing the map room. He also built the entrance to the group area, as well as the nearby castle walls and buildings. He later planned a boat racing track that never really happened. He's currently listed as an inactive member, despite being the last NHO member to regularly play on the vanilla server. His last activity in the Hermitcraft group was his participation in Hardcore Hermits Season 2. On April 13th, 2017, the Hermitcraft vanilla server reset into its 5th and current season. There were plans to build a massive underground central area, as well as a rule put in place that the members could only have service shops, no shops selling items. Additionally, fire spread was turned off for no particular reason, and a faraway world border was put in place. With this change in season, new faces were brought into the group, 2 brand new ones, and 1 returning. I will be going through them all alphabetically. The first person to mention is B00-100, also known by B00, B-dubs, or his real-life name of John, who was a previous member of both Mindcrack and Season 1 of Hermitcraft. In this current season, he joined the NHO and helped establish their jungle base, tasked with prettying it up, which is something that he has a lot of experience with. He also participated in and instigated most of the group's shenanigans, as well as dying from a lot of dox traps and farms. He later joined the Allium Alliance, with things getting, let's say, a little heated. He also built a massive tree with a village on top, as well as walls and a temple. He has not been on the vanilla server for several months, but is still listed as an active member, having most recently participated in Hardcore Hermits Season 1. Next, we have Stress Monster 101, also known as Stress Monster, Stress, or her real-life name of Natalie. She was previously a participant in Fullcraft, and is known for her detailed build style and bubbly personality. In Season 5, she has built a custom spooky swampland base with a variety of buildings and a nearby flower farm. She was the first victim of NHO shenanigans, later striking back by forming the Allium Alliance and joining the NHO. She was also hired to terraform the Mobilisa game and set up a redstone service shop. She also spent some time creating a custom map of her channel logo. The final person to join during this season was Zedaf, who is a longtime friend of Tango and Impulse. In Season 5, he has constructed a crystal cave base with a nearby lake of life. He's also been involved in the escapades of a certain caped crusader, but is definitely not him. He also established the aerial sheep service with Tango, a spiritual successor to the Derp Squad. He was tasked with setting up the gaming district and created a number of minigames, including the Hot Swap headquarters and Is That Sheep Looking at Me? He also created a Wormman merchandise shop. He later constructed Lake Honk, a sort of getaway for villagers, as well as a Mushroom Island cave. Our work in updating the roster chart is not done just yet, as we still need to cover those which have been removed from the official group listings since my last video. I will be going through these events in chronological order, starting in 2015, when Pungence and Schism were both removed from the official group listing. Pungence and Schism had been inactive for over a year, and Exuma revealed on Reddit that the two had been drifting apart and they decided to end things on good terms. Pungence still makes regular content on his YouTube channel, but Schisms has been inactive for a good 2 months. The second and final event occurred on March 11th, 2017, when King Daddy DMAC, Monkey Farm, Slipgator, Topmass, and Zul'jin were all removed from the official group listing. Zul'jin had played briefly on Season 4, constructing a woodland mansion, and Monkey Farm had been visible at the very start of the same season, but none of the others had made any appearances. King Daddy DMAC, Slipgator, and Zul'jin still make regular content on their YouTube channels, but Monkey Farm and Topmass remain inactive in this regard. With those out of the way, I can now move on to the stable roster, which I will be covering on an individual and alphabetical basis, with some exceptions which I will go into when they come up. First, we have Biffa2001, or Biffa, who returned to creating vanilla videos shortly after Season 4 began. He created a Mega Block base in the spawn town, as well as a quartz shop. He also spent some time terraforming by his nether tunnel, and creating a mining outpost with a zombie spawner. In Season 5, he was active at the start of the season, building a Riverside Village base, and forming the OHO to combat the NHO. He also built a base in the end with a slabbed island, but hasn't produced a video in a year. He's still considered an active member, having more recently participated in both Seasons 1 and 2 of Hardcore Hermits. Next, we have Doc M77, also known as Doc M, Doc, or his real-life name of Stefan, and Etho, who started off Season 4 by deciding to record together for the most part. They spend most of their time in the gaming district, creating a variety of minigames such as Water Pusher, Connect 4, a horse obstacle course, an Elytra race, a Fat Princess PvP game, Tug of War, and TNT Dodger. Doc M was later named Sheriff after the Logfellas trial, due to the old one being corrupt. In Season 5, both joined the NHO and helped establish the group's jungle base. Doc primarily worked on building a variety of traps and farms, many of which succeeded in killing B-dubs. Etho, meanwhile, worked on a massive storage system which he called the Nexus. Neither have produced any videos on the vanilla server in several months, but are still considered active members, having more recently participated in Hardcore Hermits Season 1. The next person to mention is False Symmetry, also known as False or her real-life name of Katie. In Season 4, she built a giant jellyfish house in the spawn town and constructed several shops, including a build service, a rabbit shop, a flower shop, a pet shop, a squid farm, a security service, an ink shop, and a secret Santa. She built a massive underground hall for her Patreon supporters, as well as a sheriff station, as she was the sheriff, at least until she was arrested. She earned the reputation of being a pranking menace, building a ghast, Marioing a certain Rainbow Road, creating a lag bunny, and a Loch Ness monster. She built multiple minigames, including a run and jump race and an electric crawl maze. She also made her base in an ocean, draining it out and creating several rings and towers. She also built a research submarine off of it. In Season 5, she built a pirate town base on a mushroom island with a hilltop mansion. She was also a founding member of the Allium Alliance. She continued her pranking practice during this season, building a bird bath, gifting zombie Cleo Carol a glass dome, creating Luigi's mansion out of XB's base, and several others, later joining the Convex. She also made several shops, including an insurance agency, a building service, a pants shop, a pet rock shop, and an underground black market on her base. She also created a personal nether hub and the Secret Santa headquarters. She also made several mini-games, including Hungry Hungry Hermits and a minecart shooting range. She created a massive hole to bedrock with some very sterile labs. No, not those kind. Yeah, that's better. She also constructed multiple nether tunnels for other server members and put in place an Easter egg scavenger hunt. One of her more recent builds is a gladiator arena by Zombie Cleo's base for her Patreons. The server member after her is Hypnotized, or simply Hypno. In Season 4, he played at the very beginning, but never established a proper home. He has made no videos or appearances in Season 5, but is still listed as an active member, primarily participating in their modded series. Next, we have Jevon, or simply Jevon, who started off Season 4 with the server's first death and first diamonds. He constructed a hobbit hole in Spawn Town for his home, as well as a western supply shop, a digging service, and a shulker box stand. He set up a castle base with plans for a city before tearing it down and moving underground. There, he constructed a massive base with an expansive sorting system. In Season 5, he constructed a cliffside village by a mountain base, as well as a guardian farm with pixel art sticking up from the ocean, which he later moved into and gave an old-school feel by channeling his inner Mumbo. After that is Impulse SV, also known as Impulse. In Season 4, he started off by building a villager trader and a double spawner with a fountain dispenser, later expanding this area into a super chunk with a variety of farms. He built several shops, including a bookshop, a ghast farm, a gold farm, and a wither farm. In the Spawn Town, he built a Tony Stark-inspired mansion on the hillside, and also constructed a chicken roulette minigame. In Season 5, he recreated Atlantis above the water over a guardian temple, and also competed in what I call the 1K quest, in which he tried to reach level 1000 in terms of enchanting levels. And no, before you ask, he did not cut the cake at the conclusion of the 1K quest. He also constructed a laser light show, and a massive blaze farm, as well as a gold farm and a ghast farm. Next, we have Jess Hacen, otherwise known as the Jess Hacen, or his real-life name of Jesse. In Season 4, he played at the very start, hanging around the Spawn Town and doing various things. Season 5 saw no videos from him, but he's still considered an active member, primarily due to his participation in the various modded series. Next, we have Joe Hills Says, otherwise known as Joe Hills TSD, Joe Hills, or Joe. In Season 4, he built a Pueblo-inspired cliffside house in the Spawn Town with various farms. He also constructed a fuel shop, a cow farm, a sculpture museum, and a leather shop. He built a plains base with a massive manual wheat farm, a nearby barn, and a book club. He also constructed a sand castle on a beach held up by torches, as well as a library. He later built a terracotta army of his Patreon supporters. In Season 5, he established his base on the shore of a bay, later calling it Red Sky Bay, with a nearby projector screen. He also went to work building a massive D&D inspired castle called Castle Ravenloft, with more stone brick than even the Great Spoon could possibly handle. He also built a perception check shop to keep up with the D&D theme, as well as a neighboring death house. And with that out of the way, time skip! The next server member is Corrales, who has not participated in either of the previous 2 seasons of the Hermitcraft vanilla server. He is currently listed as an inactive member. The next hermit is Mumbo, also known as Mumbo Jumbo or his real-life name of Ollie. In Season 4, he built a house inside of a mountain in the spawn town with an RV entrance, and also built an Elytra PvP minigame. He later constructed a mob drop shop, an iron shop, a gambling shop, a community smelter, a bookshop, a redstone help shop, a cow farm, and a slime shop. He built a floating ring base made out of bright blocks with ice beam supports and quad iron farms, while also constructing a nearby massive farming area. He later built his own version of the Bat Cave, made a flat area off his main base for community-suggested builds, constructed a base in the Nether, made a shrine for a wild-charged creeper that he found, and made a new base in the water just off his old base, 'cause why not? In Season 5, he started off with a dirt hut before constructing a community village sorter. He later built an ocean base with a variety of segments and a center guardian farm. He entered into a spoon challenge with Exuma, which he later lost, and created a reverse aquarium. He also made several mini-games, including Hermit Graves with Iskall, the Slab Ramp, a basketball minigame, a minecart race, an Elytra course, and a whack-a-mole game. He also made a custom door shop. He also created a cake with presents inside for the server members in order to celebrate his own birthday. He also created a shipwreck living quarters and a Mumbo monument within the confines of his base. He later constructed a custom map logo and a seaside village. Challenges weren't really his thing this season, as he ended up having to get his facial hair removed from his skin after losing a bet with Iskall, which, the less said about that, the better. He also made a TNT Land amusement park, a quad slime farm outside of Biffa's base, and a concrete powder wave in the gaming district. Next, we have Python GB, also known as Python or his real-life name of Craig, who built a treehouse in the spawn town of Season 4 with a surrounding roundabout whose words will make you out and out, as well as a redstone shop. He later joined the Logfellas, but was not involved in the trial, most likely due to being inactive during most of the shenanigans. He did, however, later help them escape. In fact, he left and returned multiple times throughout the season, building a Seatown base and an Evil Lair base underground. In Season 5, he built a 5-spawner hostile mob farm, joined the NHO, built a massive underground base with a glass floor in a nearby beach town, and a demolition shop. He also constructed the Boat Bros minigame with Exuma. He later built on a second island to his beach resort with a mansion containing a Patreon monument. The hermit after him is Tango, otherwise known as Tango Tech. In Season 4, he built a triple mob spawner farm near spawn with an explosion-based wood farm. He also constructed the infuriating Tangler minigame, as well as an Elytra chicken game. He later constructed an iron shop thanks to his advanced farm, a potion shop, and a fireworks shop. He built a stone brick and wood mansion in the spawn town, as well as the Nether Hub, which was constructed at 1/8 scale of the spawn town area. He also built a double witch farm during this season. In the current season, he started off with a villager breeder and a 5-spawner mob farm, later working on the community iron farm. He also created the aerial sheep service with ZF. His base was a floating hellish monstrosity made of nether brick and nether rack with a quad witch farm surrounding it. He also filled it with his own custom material called tectoplasm, which looked suspiciously like a scallium. He also created the Chorus Chaos minigame, as well as Derp Dropper and Tangler 2 Electric Tangaloo. Later, he created the Happy Shop, in which you could donate lava. Next, we have Tinfoil Chef, otherwise known as Tinfoil or TFC. In Season 4, he built a house of cards in the spawn town, which he eventually expanded to include a massive underground section. He also built a hard-to-craft items shop, a steak shop, and an ender chest shop. He also built a multi-story saloon in the spawn town. He later built a hall for his patrons made of glass and diorite, and dealt with various internet-related difficulties for a period during this time. He also built a DNA sequence with colorful glass near the spawn town. In Season 5, he built a fishing shack off of his base perimeter before moving in to create a massive castle base inspired by CoStar, with a conversion into an airport and a water section. The next hermit on the list is XB Crafted, or simply XB, who started off Season 4 with a tree house in the spawn town, later starting work on a glass house which was never finished. He returned for Season 5 and built his base out of a Concord woodland mansion with a nearby barn, taking on the role of an eccentric rich man. He converted a nearby triple spawner into a mob farm, made a personal wither skeleton farm, and his own squid farm. He was initiated into a clan by zombie Cleo, created a collab swap shop, and worked on some villager statues for a nearby mountain shrine. The hermit after him is Exuma, otherwise known by the simple abbreviation of X. In Season 4, he built a treehouse in the spawn town inspired by XB, later constructing a medieval hut. In terms of shops and minigames, he constructed an enchanted bow shop, a purper shop, a blaze farm, a sheep farm, a passive mob farm, a gold farm, a witch farm, a snow farm, a vindicator shop, a llama shop, a chicken catcher minigame, an underground elytra arena, and an item fishing minigame. He would join the Logfellas, a decision which would later see him tried and jailed, but he later escaped and worked on rebranding the group into the Log Masons. He also constructed an underground overworld portal hub and an end base. He also constructed a massive base by the spawn village in the nearby water with various bedrock tricks employed, as well as a lighthouse by the spawn town. In Season 5, he built his base inside of a man-made volcano surrounded by several custom biomes, and also entered a spoon challenge with Mumbo, which he later won. He also built a combined witch slime farm, which later had a flower farm added onto it, as well as a personal nether hub and a string farm. He later constructed a mob head showcase area, as well as a storage installation service. He also built the Boat Bros minigame with Python in the gaming district, as well as a competitive parkour minigame and a boat racing minigame. He also worked on constructing a custom map logo in the end, unlike some others, and worked on a hardcore Hermits monument. Finally, we have Zombie Cleo, or simply Cleo, who in Season 4 built a towering temple to the all-seeing eye in the spawn town, as well as restarting the Hermit Herald. In terms of shops, she built a nether wart block shop, an armor shop, a wool shop with Cub Fan, an underground black market, and a Christmas shop. In Season 5, she built a giant custom desert temple base with obelisk-framed entrance, and waged war against the Hermitcraft recap writers Loy XP. She later constructed a zombie farm and some white labs. No, the other kind. There we go. She would later set up Camp Crystal Lake in a savanna. Although not part of the Hermitcraft group, a page of note is the Hermitcraft Recap YouTube channel, ran by Pixel Riffs and ZloyXP. Neither are members of the Hermitcraft group, but rather cover events and videos on the vanilla server, since around the time that I stopped making updates to my series. The channel was featured for a time on the official Hermitcraft website, however. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It took a lot of effort to make, a lot of research, but I'm very happy with how it ended up, and I hope that you guys are as well. The links to the resources that I used, namely the Hermitcraft Recap channel, the unofficial Mindcrack and Hermitcraft wiki, and the Hermitcraft Reddit, will be in the description below. Before I sign off, I have a few announcements I'd like to make. First off, I've adjusted my plan for this series so that now I will be posting an update to it every 1 year. So look for the next part of this next June. Additionally, with my new setup, I should be able to supplement that long gap with more videos. And I'm very excited with all the ideas that I have in mind, and I hope that you guys will enjoy them just as much as I will enjoy making them. Additionally, I want to tell you guys about a group of Hermitcraft fans. If you guys are looking for an active community with engaged and friendly fans of your favorite Minecraft server, then I would recommend checking out the Hermitcraft Amino community. All you gotta do is download the app, it's free, create an account that's also free, and search for Hermitcraft to join. Just to be abundantly clear, this is not a sponsorship or an ad on behalf of Amino or the community specifically. I am simply a fan of the Amino app, and I believe that the Hermitcraft community on there could use some more members. Additionally, as a bit of an incentive for you guys, if you join, you might find a link that takes you to a preview of something that I have coming down the pipe fairly soon. But anyway, guys, that's all she wrote. My name is JPGR Rocks. Farewell from Minnesota, and I'll see you next time.